Set of the camera.
Yes, sir. Okay. Good,
All right.
good afternoon. Good morning. This is Jory Vandenberg. I'm the 388 Fighter Wing historian, and I'm here conducting a series of interviews of the 388th Bombardment Group Heavy individuals, the airmen from that bombardment group, and we're at the 63rd annual bomb group reunion in Savannah, Georgia. Today's date is 31 August 2012. And I'm currently interviewing the following individual.
My name is William W. Worthan.
Okay, and Mr. Worthan, where did you grow up? What was your hometown?
My hometown was Springfield, Massachusetts.
Okay.
Born 1922.
Okay. Wowzers.
I lived there for most of my life, and then I went to the University of Vermont, and I graduated from the University of Vermont in 1950.
Okay.
And I stayed in Burlington, Vermont, and where I stayed the rest of my life. I started working there. I was in the agricultural business.
Okay.
And I ran a small co-op up there for most of this until the farm business started dropping out. Then I had to for another 5 years, find another employment.
Okay.
Which was with a entirely different. It was with a gas company, but
Okay.
kept me going until I retired.
Okay. What did you do? What was your job in the Air Force with the 388th Bombardment Group?
My job at the Air Force was a co-pilot.
Co-pilot?
Yeah,
Okay.
B-17 co-pilot.
All right. And so what was your rank as a co-pilot?
First lieutenant.
First lieutenant.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, let me just kind of talk about the basic military service while you were in the 388th Bombardment Group, or with the military to begin with. And when and where did you enter active service?
I actually went. I actually had in Fort Devens, Massachusetts,
Okay.
and I went there to down in Nashville, Tennessee, where we got separated. And I ended up Maxwell Field is where I first started training.
And when was that? What year? Month?
That was in '43.
Okay. Do you remember the month?
That was in February '43.
Okay.
1943.
So you went down to Maxwell Field?
Right, Maxwell Field for primary training.
Okay. And how long were you down there?
We were there approximately 2 months.
Okay.
And then from there we were separated. Of course, they separate pilots to bombardier and navigator, and I went to pilot training down in Florida.
Okay.
Down in Ocala, Florida.
Okay.
That's where I took my primary training. Flew Stearmans,
Okay.
PT-17 Stearmans
All right.
for a couple of months.
Sort of biplanes, right?
Yeah, the old biplanes. And then I went from there to, trying to think, I went from there to Mississippi,
Okay.
Greenville, Mississippi, for the next stage, where we went for the next 2 months training.
Okay.
And then
So now we're like into July?
that was
August?
in July, and, well, no, it wasn't quite in July. And then I graduated from Columbus, pilot training from Columbus, Mississippi.
Okay.
And that was, I was trying to, well, it must have been in May of '44,
Okay. All right.
because we flew, but we formed our crew after that, and we were stationed down in Avon Park, Florida. That's when our crew got together.
Okay.
And then and then we went over and flew out of Savannah. When we picked up our plane, flew out of Savannah
Okay.
and went up to Gander Field, Newfoundland. Spent about 2 weeks there waiting for the weather to clear so we could fly out over to Landon Island.
Okay.
And then we left the plane and we were sent down to Nettishall, to the 388th.
Okay. So the plane you ferried over, ultimately you just ferried it over there.
Right.
And then you went down Nettishall without an aircraft.
Yeah, we didn't take the plane with us.
Okay. See, but all right.
Yeah.
By the way, do you remember the name, the of your crew members? I presume you had a dedicated crew team that was with you throughout, at least most of the
Yes,
duration?
most of them, yeah. Well,
Okay.
my captain's name was Salkowski,
Okay,
which he's passed away. They've all passed away.
okay,
And then the bombardier's name was Dwyer, John Dwyer.
okay,
Navigator's name was Ulbrich, Fred Ulbrich. And I was trying to remember the rest of the tail gunner's name was Parker, Bob Parker. And the radio operator was DeSandra. And I can't remember, I can't think of the top turret gun. I can't remember his name right offhand, or the tail guy, I mean the waist gunners. But those are the ones right now that I do remember.
okay, all right. But you're basically the last survivor.
Yeah, I'm not, as far as I know, the last.
But that crew, they survived the whole
Yes.
mission?
Yeah,
Or the whole deployment while they were
yeah,
there?
we tried to.
Okay. All right, so you get there around the end of May or early June of 44?
Early June.
Okay. Were you there before D-Day?
We arrived before D-Day,
Okay. Did you
but we
participate?
didn't participate in any D-Day activity.
Okay.
We didn't actually get going till about the first part of July.
Okay. So you think your first combat mission was after that?
Yeah,
After
it
the
was.
1st of July?
In the first part of July.
Okay. Well, that was an exciting time still.
Yeah, it was.
Pretty exciting. D-Day
Well,
finally
of
occurred.
course, we would have liked to have been on a few of those short missions on D-Day where we didn't,
Yes, sir.
just whip across the channel and back, but that
Still
was
dangerous.
the way it went. So
Okay.
anyway.
All right, well, that's pretty cool. All right, so basically by 1st of July of 44, you're full up doing combat missions.
Right.
How many combat missions did y'all do?
We had 35 on it,
Okay.
35 combat missions.
And how long did it take you to acquire the 35?
We ended up Christmas Eve, December 44.
Okay, all right. Now, in that process, during that basically 6 months, okay, what to you were some of the most memorable events that occurred? You know, the most memorable mission, the most exciting, or the most terrifying, or whatever?
Well, the most exciting one when we were sent over on this highly secret Aphrodite mission,
Okay,
which was highly secret. Where they loaded these old planes with this Torpex was the name of the like dynamite,
Okay.
it was explosive.
explosive.
They stripped these planes, loaded them,
Okay.
and then they had a pilot and co-pilot which flew those. And our position there was as observation. We'd follow the plane, see where they bailed out. They'd bail out of these planes, and then somebody would take over radio control.
Okay. There was a different plane that did the radio control for that?
Yes.
Okay.
They call it the mothership.
All right, the mothership.
Which, and unfortunately, when we first one I was on, the only one, Joe Kennedy Jr. was the pilot of this Liberator, which was loaded with high explosives.
Okay.
That was, his father was the ambassador to England,
Okay.
Joe Kennedy.
Joe Kennedy.
And
Senior.
they took off. We took off first, and we were about up a couple thousand feet. We're waiting for them to get off, and they finally got off because they were loaded. It took them a while to get
Yes,
clear
sir.
the airport.
But they were in the Liberator?
They were in a Liberator,
Okay.
and so they took off, and we were up the other way, and we were trying to catch up with them. And we got probably 400 or 500 yards, and they blew up.
Kaboom.
Something went wrong in the plane they were in before they could bail out.
Okay.
And that's when Joe Kennedy Jr. and his, he had a co-pilot. Of course, they were
Okay.
both blown up. And unfortunately, we were lucky because it racked us up on the one wing practically, the explosion. And it's one that we didn't, but we recovered.
Okay. So you said you were about 300 feet?
Well,
from
no,
them?
yards,
300,
about 400 or 500 yards. It was hard, you know.
Yards, okay.
And we were trying to keep up with them because we had a photographer on there
Okay.
that wanted to take pictures of the whole thing.
But he didn't get any pictures.
No, he was standing up there and got tipped over.
Okay. They didn't have any. He didn't have a film, like the combat camera. Was it a movie film or?
I think it was
still
just a
camera?
movie film. Yeah, I can't remember.
Okay, but he hadn't had it. He didn't have it set up and running. Or
No,
anything. Okay. Do you now? It was your pilot. It was your regular crew that was on this mission.
well, there was only just the pilot, myself, the navigator, and I think there was one other crewman. The whole crew wasn't with us. It was
Okay.
just partial
Yeah,
crew.
you didn't need the gunners for that
No,
because y'all were. I mean, the theory is you had the explosive remote control piloted explosive plane,
right.
and then you had the mothership, whoever flew that, and then y'all were there as observers, but they didn't feel that you needed to have armament.
No, we just went to the coast and see where they bailed out.
Oh, I see. Okay.
So they could tell them where they bailed out, so they could go pick them up.
Oh, okay. All right.
See, the ones in the pilot and co-pilot in the plane that had explosive, they'd bail out,
Yes, sir. Okay.
and
And then your job was just to kind of observe, let them know, so you can
let them
radio
know
back.
where they were. And,
Yeah. Well, would you radio back, or would you go back and land and send?
no, we'd radio, but someone else would pick them up.
Okay. So you break radio silence.
Yeah,
Yes,
I guess they'd pick them up. Of course, we never knew. They didn't. There was no one to pick up. So.
yes, sir. On that one, there wasn't.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
All right.
it's quite a, it's quite an explosion. And they said afterwards it broke windows in a 6-mile radius of windows in town in the
Yes, sir.
place down there.
Well, because it wasn't very far. I think that my recollection is Finster Air Base or Royal Air Force, or what was the name of the base? Do you know?
Ferrisville.
Ferrisville?
Ferrisville.
Okay, Ferrisville, okay.
What's the
So
name
that was,
of
there was a little village next to all of that?
Yeah, that's where this planes took off from.
Okay. All right, and again, the names of the crew members on your plane at the time were your pilot,
Pilot and the navigator.
and their names again were,
Sulculsi was the pilot, and
and you,
Albrecht was the navigator,
Albrecht, okay, the navigator,
and myself.
yourself,
And I think there was one other, I think the radio man,
okay,
Deandra, was on there.
all right.
But we didn't have a full crew, and of course, our crew, it was highly secret,
Yes, sir.
and we couldn't, when we got back to our base, we weren't allowed to talk about it.
Okay,
You know, they'd ask us where we were, and we had sworn to secrecy, because this was highly secret missions they were.
we went on vacation
Right.
with the plane. And they were wondering, how'd you get that pass?
Yeah.
Okay, so that was just, for that Aphrodite mission, that was the only one y'all went on. And again, y'all were just up there observers. But you were never, excuse me.
Well, I
You
mean,
were
that was the most, the most one that stuck in my mind.
Yes, sir.
You know, there was other missions that, in fact, our last mission, which was Christmas Eve, we'd been waiting a week for the weather to clear to help them in the Bulge, Battle of the Bulge.
Yes, sir.
And we had a short run, and we got hit, and we had lost an engine, and we lost hydraulics, and we knew we couldn't, and at that time, Brussels had been freed up. And so we landed in an airstrip in Brussels.
Okay.
And we didn't have any hydraulics, and we tried this idea of throwing a parachute out the side of the plane to slow us down, but it snapped the parachute right off.
Okay.
But fortunately, it was a long enough runway so we ran out of speed after a while.
Okay, eventually.
But that was probably another one of them memorable.
Okay. Well, let me finish. I want to talk about that one too. Okay, but I just wanted to kind of finish up the one mission for Aphrodite. In that particular, again, y'all were the observer plane. So you just came up from Netashall
Yeah.
to meet up with them. You weren't stationed up at Ferrisville.
Ferrisville. No, we stayed there about a week waiting for the action to happen.
Okay.
And we, hung around there
Okay.
and waiting, and then finally we went to the briefing room, met the Kennedys. And
Okay. Do you remember the pilots of the mothership, or the crew that was on the mothership?
No, I don't.
Okay.
I don't remember who they were.
All right. And do you remember if on at least the mothership, did they have any other ship that went along with them?
They had some other, there was some couple of Spitfires that were
Okay.
flying, and
And
I think they just, the mothership actually guided it, to the coast,
yes, sir.
and they didn't go all the way over to Germany, but they went as far as they could, and then they let the radar, however they worked it
Okay.
through the television.
Do the remote control, let it do its own
Remote
thing
control.
entirely on its own.
Right.
Okay.
And
Okay.
Unfortunately, none of them were very successful, I guess.
Yes, sir. Yeah, it doesn't sound like they
Yeah, they,
sound like it was a big mess in a way. Well, it was at the vanguard of trying to do remote control
Right.
piloting and
Yeah.
stuff like that. So,
yeah.
the technology wasn't quite there, but it was, good lessons learned and good test bed
Yeah.
for them to learn how to do that much later. But
And then afterwards, I don't want to add to the story, but when I got home, I was going with this girl in Massachusetts, Springfield, and her aunt had a place down next to the Kennedy compound on the Cape,
okay,
and she had me down there, the aunt invited my girlfriend and I down for a weekend, and
Okay.
somehow I guess we'd been partying. I was down on the beach the next day, and John and Robert Kennedy came. I guess someone got word out that I had been there when their brother was killed,
okay,
and they came down on the beach to talk with me and asked me about it and what happened, and
okay.
so
Do you remember the date of when that time frame occurred?
when that happened,
Yes, sir.
it must have been in
My recollection.
45, somewhere in May.
For Joseph, something tell, I don't know, I was trying to remember, it seemed like that was like in August of 44. Is when that, maybe it was later, maybe it was
Oh,
September.
when the plane?
Yes, sir. The
Yeah, when
plane
that
was about
when he
August-
blew up.
Yes, sir.
Yes, it was.
Like August 16th or something.
Yeah, somewhere I got it down,
Something.
somewhere in that.
Okay.
Yeah.
But then you thought like later on, like in 45,
Yeah. when
after
I-
you'd come back to the States.
After I got discharged.
Okay. They were kind of met them on the beach
Yeah.
and told them the story. Okay,
Yeah.
so that's sweet. You were able to let them know exactly how it happened.
Yeah, they wanted to know.
Yeah, but they did.
Yeah.
So that was sweet. That was pretty cool that you were able to do that.
Yeah.
That's pretty neat. Okay, let's talk about this Battle of the Bulge stuff. Okay, the Germans had launched their big attack to try to get to Brussels back.
Right.
To that port, and so you had the Battle of the Bulge. You had the 101st was trapped at Bastogne.
Uh-huh.
Now, were you involved in the bombing, the low-level bombing missions involved with the Bastogne?
No, I don't know. No, we weren't. Of course, I don't know what I forget what our target was that day.
Okay.
I got it home, but it was a railroad place or what. But anyway,
Okay. Was it over in the German side, or was it actually in the Belgium?
in Belgium,
Okay.
it was right on the border somewhere there.
Okay, so you were trying to attack
That's
a
where we
railroad
got-
yard. Okay, well,
That's-
how did that mission turn out?
Hmm?
Was that a low-level mission, or was it
No, it was a
traditional high-level?
just at a high level.
Okay, so what was that mission all about? What was the particulars of that one?
I think it was a marshalling yard or something there. and
Okay.
it's like,
All righty, how did that mission go out, though? How did that mission play out?
I guess as far as it worked, I mean, of course, we didn't make it, but anyway, as far as I know, they were successful.
Okay, but did you was there any fighter, Luftwaffe fighter?
I don't recall
Interference?
any fighter group. There probably was covering, unless they were down strafing. I don't remember if that's what they were doing most of the time.
Okay, no, I mean, the German fighters, did they try to do any kind of intercept on that particular
Not on
mission?
not on that mission, no.
They were pretty much, were they pretty much silent by
They
that
were
time?
by then, yeah.
You didn't see very much
Yeah.
of the fighters anymore after that?
No.
Okay. And then, what about the flak? Did you have much flak?
No, there wasn't much flak that day either.
Okay.
No.
Because you're on the American side by that point.
Right.
I mean, the front line was beyond over in the
Maybe we
German.
got hit by something, but it wasn't that much. There was some flak, but
Okay.
just enough to knock out a few things there.
All right. But did the plane make it back to Nettishaw?
Yes,
On that one?
yeah, we made it back.
Okay. Now, did you have any other
No,
missions?
I'm sorry, we didn't we had to land in Brussels.
Yeah, I thought,
Yeah, but I don't know whether they got the plane back originally after that or not.
okay. It landed in Brussels because it had hydraulic fluid leak.
Right.
And then one of the engines.
Well, engine out.
Engine out. Okay. But you landed there. But you don't remember if it ever made it back to Nettishaw?
I don't remember if that plane did or not.
Because you were probably gone by then. Because that was,
Yeah, that was
wasn't
it.
that your 35th mission?
That was it. Yeah.
That was it. That was
Yeah.
your last mission. Y'all were, required to do.
Right.
And then so they just.
So I don't know, we didn't pay too much attention after that.
Because y'all were done. You were
Yeah.
finished. It wasn't your problem anymore, right?
No.
Okay,
Let
so
them
that
worry
makes
about it.
sense. So how quick did you get out of Nettishaw back to America after that mission? That was like, you said, the 24th of December?
It was
Was that Christmas Eve?
yeah, 24th.
Okay.
And, yeah, I think it was just about a month after that.
Okay. Pretty
We
good.
got, we sailed, we flew over, and we went back by boat,
Okay.
you know.
Do you remember what ship? Was it a Liberty ship or was it one of the commercial liners?
The only thing I remember about it, we had some German prisoners who were going back with us. And I remember one of them died. They thought it was appendicitis. I guess it was appendicitis, they didn't know. But he passed away, but I always remember they had the burial at sea. We all came up and watched the
Okay.
slip him into the burial at sea, which was kind of exciting.
Yeah. Don't get to see that too often.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
you
I don't
came
know, are there
back.
any they all had each mission had its
Yes, sir.
few moments of whether you're going to make it back or not. But
Yes, sir.
I think one of the longest missions we had when we dropped supplies to the, what was the Free French down in,
Okay. Down the free. You did at least one mission of those, or did
yeah,
you-
way down in southern France.
In southern
It
France.
was about a 12-hour mission.
Okay.
It was a long mission.
Was that a night mission or daytime?
Day mission.
Okay.
Of course, we didn't run into any problems. 'Cause we kind of stayed over in the,
Do you remember the time frame when that was? When that occurred?
I'd say it was in September sometime, as I recall.
Because I remember I was seeing them at the museum, the Mighty Eight Museum. I noticed in that showcase they had a photograph of. It looks like it was relatively low level.
It was.
Low level.
Yeah.
Did you fly low level the whole time, or just were you up at high altitude and then you came?
Well,
down?
we weren't that high, maybe 10,000 or something. We didn't have to go up too high.
Okay.
But then we got, we dropped down in there and we were flying in around the mountains there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. Yeah, I kind of noticed that. It looked like y'all were pretty close.
Yeah.
And y'all did
But,
they
we had to
stuff
get
them out in
that-
parachutes, or just open up the bomb bay and let the stuff fall out of the bomb?
Some of it was parachute, but a lot of it just was packaged so it would
Okay.
take a bounce or two.
All right, so you participated. So are you in one of those? Is one of those that picture I was referring to? Is one of your planes in that picture?
Well, no,
Or
I
is that
can't
some
remember
other
that
mission?
picture. I guess I better go back and look at that.
Okay, if you get a chance when you go up that glass showcase, it has the bomber jacket. Who's that bomber jacket?
It did show up.
It's when you first come in that big rotunda.
Uh-huh.
There's a glass showcase against the back wall, and there's
Oh.
a fighter jacket. I can't remember what was the name on them. It starts with an F. But anyway, so there's a showcase, and then they have some photographs, and that's
Oh.
where I first saw about that.
Uh-huh.
So that might have been one of you.
Well, it could have been. I guess I'll have to look that up. I
Okay,
didn't pay much
okay.
attention.
We'll talk about that later, okay?
Yeah.
Okay, all right. Well, that was pretty exciting. Little deal. But you only did one of those to the
Yes, just
the
one
Free
of those.
French replenish,
The rest of them were all targets in Germany.
Okay. All righty. And then, did you participate in the Hamburg bombing raid that was in December, in late December 45? Do you remember doing that one? Or 44, excuse me.
It could. I'd have to have a look at I can't remember, one mission from the next,
Okay.
whether it was Hamburg or
Right, because that was, I've talked to some of the airmen about that, and that was a pretty hairy one. It was like intense amount of flak. And
Yeah.
we had lost a lot of planes on that one, that particular mission.
Well, the ones we always worried about was going down to Schweinfurt,
Yes, sir.
down there.
And how many of those swine, because I think it seems like we went there about 5 or 6 times.
I think unfortunately, I think it was one of the first or second we flew in a row to
Okay.
Schweinfurt, which kind of initiated us, broke us into the
Okay,
routine.
yes, sir, because that was always heavily defended. We
It
kept
was.
going back after it.
Yeah, you're practically walking the flak and coming up.
Okay, all right. Anything else that you can think of?
No, I think
Okay.
covered about everything, I hope.
And you kind of covered your post-war career.
Yeah.
And like I say, you came back and you were discharged by February of 45, you think?
Roughly, yes.
Okay.
Yeah,
So basically, you're only in about 2 whole years
yeah.
from the time you came in, February 43,
Uh-huh.
and then you went a whole circuit for pilot school,
Right,
and then you got deployed
right.
to Nenashaw,
Yeah.
did your thing. Now, that's amazing. You got your 35 done real quick with your same crew, making it through.
Yeah,
It's pretty impressive.
they kept us moving.
Yes, they did.
Yeah.
So that's good. Well, and they were better at it too by the time you got there. I think the first,
Yeah, it's,
our first group of people that
I'm
first,
glad I wasn't there in 43, and
yes, sir,
that's,
That was
and
tough.
when they figure 1 out of 10 never made it back, or,
Yes, sir. That's about right.
yeah.
In fact, it was even worse than that. I
Worse
think
than-
1 out of 10 collectively for the whole 2 years, but
Yeah.
that first batch, they were like,
Sitting ducks.
you'd send 40 planes and 11 wouldn't come back.
No,
12 wouldn't come back.
yeah.
So that was tough. And that
Yeah.
was typical for the first quite a few months. Okay. All right. Anything else you'd like to share? Anything last?
No, I think we've
All right.
covered everything.
Okay. Well, I think that's it. Thank you very much for your
All
time,
right.
Mr. Worthan.
You're welcome.
And you take care. Let me shut this thing down.